There's only a handful of forces of nature that permeate the universe, and one of them is the force of gravity. Gravity is the binding force of galaxies.
In his 21st season.
And the gravitational field that permeates it, in a way, is like the choreographer of all that happens within the system.
One more.
It is the gravitational field that keeps the galaxy as a unit.
You got it.
You just move according to its wishes.
Go, Chara, go.
Every star sees every other star through their mutual force of gravity. You can have stars that feel each other's gravity, possibly would pull into orbit around each other.
The captain rifles one in.
Or they might even collide, which never bodes well for the smaller of the two stars. If you want to think of any influential person, place, or thing
Get the duck boats ready.
as a gravitational field, it'll be clear to everyone as well as the universe itself. They're all in orbit around the galactic center.
Zdeno 1,000 Bruins games, all as captain. As a central character in transforming a lottery qualifier to a model of teamwork and excellence, Zdeno Chara has tapped into the club's heritage and become part of its legend.
I always try to treat everyone with respect and everybody's included, regardless of age or status, games played, where they came from. I think leadership is something you share. You can't just own it. It's not about one player, it's about the team. I take a lot of pride in that, and it will never change, and hopefully it stays for long after me.
From the latest and greatest back through those who own parts of hockey history, there is universal respect for the determination of Zdeno Chara.
He's worked on his skating, he's worked on his quick release. It's impressive the way that he's evolved and the way that he stayed on top of his game.
Not only is he a good hockey player, but he's a smart individual.
If there's a decision that needed to be made, he had no problem making it.
It left us all in awe.
He's bleeding pretty good.
When we heard what had happened and how much damage was done.
At 6'9", he has been a huge presence, bigger still in what he has meant to the Bruins. He sets goals and achieves them.
He's a man that once he's gonna say something that he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. Even if you don't believe him, he'll do it. He'll find a way. In order to do it, he will help everybody else to get on a boat. If there is something that you think it's impossible, he will arrange everything around, and he will carry everybody around just to get it done.
I believe that as a humans, as a people, we can always find ways to be better and make others better around us.
Conditions got better for the Chara family in what would become an independent Slovakia when the Soviet bloc collapsed in 1989.
What was it like to have a country become a country when you were just like 12 years old?
Yeah, I think that we live quite happy lives. It was just a certain rules that you had to follow. So it was very strict, very kind of disciplined. But as a kids, we had good childhoods. We played, we had fun.
He's got a streak of rebellion in him, because he would tell me stories about everybody had a radio that you had to have on, and then there's speakers that were in the towns where they lived, and they would play the communist radio and the propaganda like every Sunday, and everybody had to listen to it. And he told me that him and his buddies would take soccer balls and kick them and throw them into the speakers.
He told me he went to the dentist and he was not allowed to take a shot, so he had to do it without any numbness. I can see it because I grew up in Europe as well. He grew up in Europe. That's the way it was, right? That's how maybe his dad was. That's how he grew up.
I know my dad was extremely hard on me. That made me very humble. I just want to make a difference.
Zdeno, the father, was an Olympic wrestler in the days of the communist regime. There was one way in his era, and when the son chose to be an athlete, Zdenek put him on a regime.
How much of that was part of your upbringing?
I would say a lot. You know, since the moment I decided that I want to play hockey more seriously, my dad took it, you know, also seriously, and he was pushing me to do the extra almost every day. I think that was the way that he was trained, the way that the regime kind of push it on you to do it certain ways. Those extra hours in the gym and running in the mountains and bike rides and lifting and all that stuff introduced to me quite early.
His story as a growing up wasn't easy, you know. He heard many times that he shouldn't play hockey or he won't make it, you know, and he just had that will to prove people wrong.
Can you tell me the story of the chin-up bar in your childhood?
We had like a big backyard. Every day pretty much we had to do something in the garden. We spent so much time working. My dad said, well, you're gonna be doing, you know, helping out in garden, but also doing the training. So he figured a way to put these pull-up bars between tree branches, the dip bars around the tree trunks. You know, one day he decided to dig a well with a shovel. So it took us 2 weeks. It was just a lot of work. So doing pull-ups, dips, and all that stuff was kind of like normal routine.
The tunnel-visioned teenager, channeling all his energy into a hockey career a continent away, was driven to conquer challenges, but literally on his way, he was smitten.
So it was back in high school, a long time ago. Z was about to leave for NHL draft, and we met in the middle of the town as I was walking home. And because I've been in States before as an exchange student, he asked me for address. I don't think it was meant to start a relationship. It just it ended up that way.
When I met my wife, I mean, just to speaking to her and realizing how much, you know, smarter she was and educated she was, and she had knowledge about everything that I asked her about. I realized that, wow, I need to learn a little bit more.
He asked me for address, and then a year later, he called me on the phone and he said, "Hi, it's the tall guy, remember me?" And I said, "No." He said, "The really tall guy, you gave me address." And then he started calling once a month, once a week, and that's how we got to know each other, through letters and phone calls.
So I've just obviously tried to raise the level of my side to get a little bit closer to Tatiana, which is not going well.
Just as Chara made the grade in the NHL, the Bruins were flailing and failing. He would eventually wear the C for Boston, only to find that the letter stood for a new kind of challenge. 5,000 miles from home, the giant youngster was an instant presence in junior hockey's Western League, the Islanders' third-round draft choice, scouted only by a grainy VHS tape, just wanted to fit in.
I like scoring, but I'm defense. Stay at home and good pass, some hits.
It was very difficult. Leaving home, I knew it wouldn't be easy. You know, going to a different country, different language, different culture, different, you know, systems and players.
At that time, it was all about, what do I do? Like, how do I get where I want to get? See, back then it wasn't like a straight line. He had so many questions for himself, not other people. How do I do this? And I'm gonna do whatever it takes. It's just finding a path. That's how I saw him.
I was very much looking forward to it. I was kind of excited that I'm gonna have a kind of new beginning and that I could play hockey and I would be valued just like everybody else.
We'd go in there. I played for Portland Winterhawks, and he was crazy tough. One of our tough guys, you know, fought him and absolutely got destroyed.
I like hits and tough, some fights.
They had a promotion where they gave out one of those, you know, growth charts, and it was a picture of Z, you know, and like, you know, you mark your child against Z as they grow.
Grow too much, I think 22 centimeters.
When you saw him in junior, he wasn't somebody you looked at and said, going to be a superstar in the NHL. He was just a very kind of mediocre skater, but he was just big.
The Big S. Zdeno Chara became the tallest player ever in the NHL. Time was short at first, 7:03 in his debut. 80 games later, his ice time had tripled.
Out to the blue line, Chara, he shoots, he scores! And for Zdeno Chara, his first in the National Hockey League.
First time you saw him, he could barely skate. He was just all arms, legs, and he had a hard time just balancing himself.
I think he was a big project. Wasn't fleet of foot at the time, but he did quick feet drills every day after practice. He worked on his shot. He loved his shot, so he worked on things that he had to get better.
Chara in from the blue line. Look at Samsonov trying to fight him off.
Day one, from the day we met him, his work ethic constantly, every single day went at it. Like he wanted to get better.
Chara scores! What a play by Zdeno Chara.
There's no quit in him when it comes to the workout part of things. He was raw, but there wasn't any question that he was going to play in the league.
I was pretty much dialed in 24/7 on hockey.
Zdeno Chara on the attack, score!
I sacrificed pretty much everything towards the goal, just play the NHL.
How about that play by the big defenseman?
Ottawa got Chara, Bill Muckalt, and a draft pick that would turn into Jason Spezza for Alexei Yashin. The big defenseman blossomed, making that a lopsided trade.
Chara scores! Zdeno Chara wins it for Ottawa!
I think it's important with a player to allow him to play within his strengths. And I think at the same time, Z kept working at his game and kept improving his abilities so that he become a more rounded player.
Zdeno Chara wins it for the Sens, and they're in first place in the Eastern Conference.
And in last place in the Northeast Division, the Boston Bruins. There was no binding force. They had won one playoff series in 12 years, sinking in the deluge, ready to wheel, deal, and spend.
I'll give Harry kudos for the line of saying, why save things for a rainy day? It's been raining here for a little while. It's time to move forward.
When I came in, there was a big transition. Trading away Joe Thornton, it was a big deal, right? I think the team back then were looking for something.
They were always a competitive team. Why? Because they had the work ethic. They had that blue-collar attitude, and I think they had gotten away from that a little bit.
The fans here, they let you know, either if it's bad or if it's good.
Ottawa chose to keep Wade Redden and let Chara pursue unrestricted free agency.
We were thinking different cities. Of course, you need to be prepared. You don't know who's gonna call.
I learned a lot that, you have to be patient as well and wait for the right time.
We made a decision. We were clear about it, but once we hung up the phone and we knew we are leaving, it was like, really? Because we didn't know much about Boston.
The Bruins got the best defenseman on the market. Has there been a more impactful signing in hockey history?
Was franchise changing, no doubt about it.
One of the greatest moves ever.
I'm not afraid of challenge. I'm willing to lead by my example of hard work, dedication, discipline, drive. I believe that when you work very hard, you have a better chance to achieve it and you put yourself in a better position. I think the only thing we care is the final goal and to win at the end.
The primary goal is win the cup. That was he said. The next time we are choosing a city, you can choose, but this time it's about Stanley Cup. That's what he said.
I set certain goals that sometimes at first sight are not always kind of visionary, but I want to make sure that we set the goals that are kind of goals to be reached and you have to work for.
Zdeno Chara wanted to be captain, but not even a Goliath could turn the club around alone.